This is something that I've said, y'all. And to buffer my point, take a look at this full screen, please. Not only did this year's WNBA All-Star Game set a record with 3.4 million viewers, an increase of over 300% from the 2023 game.
Did you hear about Caitlin Clark's latest move? It's got everyone talking, from WNBA execs to fans on Twitter. She's skipping the WNBA draft to play in Europe. But before you say she's crazy, let's break down why this decision might be the smartest play of her career. Clark's been a superstar in college. She's the kind of player that makes you stop and watch. Everyone thought she was going to be the first pick in the WNBA draft. I mean, who wouldn't want her on their team? She's got skills that make other players jealous. But just when we all thought she'd dominate the WNBA...
So the next closest team, ladies and gentlemen, aren't even averaging 12,000 fans. But the Indiana Fever are averaging 16,000.
Clark threw a curveball that left fans and execs shocked. Instead of the bright lights of the WNBA, she's heading to Europe. You're probably thinking, why would a rising star leave the WNBA behind? Well, the reasons might surprise you, and they're shaking up women's basketball as we know it. Let's talk about why this move could be a game changer for Clark and the whole sport. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Here's the kicker. Clark's not just chasing her hoop dreams, she's following the cash.
No, it's never happened in America. And then when you throw on the animus and the jealousy and the media being against her, February, March of 2024, it's like, holy cow, she's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
Ever wonder why so many WNBA stars spend their off seasons overseas? The answer might make you rethink everything you know about women's pro basketball. When it comes to Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe, it's all about the money, honey. You might be thinking, wait, isn't the WNBA where the big bucks are? Well, hold on to your jersey because the reality might shock you. European leagues are throwing down some serious cash, and it's making the WNBA look like a lemonade stand in comparison. We're talking salaries that could make your head spin, but it's not just about the paycheck. These European teams are offering the whole package. We're talking housing, living expenses, and more. It's like getting paid to play basketball and live your best life abroad. Who wouldn't want that? Now, let's break it down. The WNBA has been catching heat for years about their low salary. Some players are barely making enough to cover their bills, let alone live the life of a pro athlete. It's no wonder so many of them jet off to Europe or Asia as soon as the WNBA season wraps up. They're not doing it for the frequent flyer miles, folks. Imagine you're in Clark's shoes for a sec. You've got two options. Option A is staying in the WNBA, where you might make a decent salary, but nothing life-changing. Option B is heading to Europe, where you could potentially earn triple, quadruple, or even more than what you'd make in the States. Plus, you get a free place to live and some extra cash for expenses. Which would you choose? This isn't just about Clark getting paid though. Her decision is shining a spotlight on a bigger issue in women's basketball. It's like she's holding up a giant neon sign saying, hey, WNBA, we need to talk about money. This move could be the wake-up call the league needs to seriously reconsider how they compensate their players. Think about it. The WNBA wants to keep top talent like Clark on home soil. They're going to have to step up their game. One expert even said if the WNBA doesn't wake up soon, they might just lose her. That's not just about Clark, it's about all the amazing players who might choose to take their talents elsewhere if things don't change. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's decision isn't just about her bank account, it's potentially changing the game for all women in basketball. By choosing Europe, she's not only securing her own financial future, but also putting pressure on the WNBA to reevaluate how they value their players. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Money's great, but what if Clark's move is about more than just cash? What if she's after something even bigger? European basketball isn't just a different paycheck, it's a whole new ballgame. Clark's diving into a world where teamwork trumps individual glory, and the competition is fierce. European leagues have a reputation for high skill levels and strategic gameplay. It's like chess on a basketball court. Players need to think 3 moves ahead, not just react in the moment. This is where Clark could really level up her game. Think about it. In the WNBA, Clark's known for her flashy plays and individual brilliance. But in Europe, it's all about the team. The playing style emphasizes tactics and working together. It's like going from a solo act to being part of an orchestra. Every player has their part, and the magic happens when they all play in harmony. So here's the million-dollar question. Will Clark's swift, assertive style work in this new environment? Or will she have to completely change her game? It's like throwing a fish into a new pond. Will she sink or swim? But here's where it gets really exciting. Experts are saying that this European adventure could make Clark an even better player. Imagine her coming back to the WNBA with a whole new set of skills. It's like she's going to basketball boot camp. And when she comes back, she might be unstoppable. The European leagues aren't just some minor league. They're standing shoulder to shoulder with the WNBA in terms of player development and competition quality. It's like Clark is stepping into a basketball laboratory where she can experiment, grow, and push her limit. It's not just about what happens on the court. Clark's journey in Europe is a chance for her to broaden her perspective. She'll be facing off against experienced international players who've been in the game for years. It's like a crash course in global basketball strategy. But let's be real for a second. This move isn't without risks. What if Clark struggles to adapt? What if the European style of play doesn't suit her strengths? It's a gamble, but one that could pay off big time. Think about it this way. If Clark can dominate in Europe, combining her natural talent with new skills and strategies, she'll come back to the WNBA as a force to be reckoned with. It's not just about improving her game, it's about revolutionizing it. And here's the kicker. Clark's success in Europe could benefit the entire WNBA. If she comes back as an even bigger star, it could draw more attention to the league, potentially leading to better deals and more recognition for all players. Clark's move to Europe isn't just about improving her game, it's about conquering new territories. Think about it. While the WNBA was shocked, European fans are going wild. What if this is the start of Clark becoming a household name worldwide? And if that happens, will the WNBA still be part of her plans? Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe is like opening a door to a whole new world of opportunities. It's not just about playing basketball anymore. It's about building a global brand. Imagine Clark's face on billboards in Barcelona, her name trending on social media in Berlin, and fans lining up for her autograph in Rome. That's the kind of stardom we're talking about here. European leagues aren't just a pit stop for Clark. They're a launch pad. Playing overseas gives her a chance to showcase her skills to a whole new audience. It's like she's performing on a bigger stage, with more eyes watching her every move. And you know what that means? More fans, more followers, and more people who want to be just like Caitlin Clark. But here's where it gets really exciting. As Clark's popularity grows in Europe, big companies are going to start noticing. We're talking about major endorsement deals that could make her bank account look like a phone number. It's not just about selling sneakers or sports drinks anymore. Clark could become the face of international brands, reaching markets that most WNBA players can only dream of. And let's not forget about social media. Clark's Instagram followers could skyrocket as she gains fans from all over the world. Every post, every story, every tweet becomes a chance to connect with a global audience. It's like she's building her own little Clark empire, one follower at a time. You know what's even crazier? Clark's success in Europe could actually change how people see women's basketball. If she becomes a superstar over there, it might make more people tune in to women's games. It's like she's not just playing for herself anymore. She's playing for the future of the sport. But here's the million-dollar question. If Clark becomes a global icon, will she want to come back to the WNBA? I mean, think about it. If she's making big bucks in Europe, has millions of fans worldwide, and is living her best life abroad, why would she want to return to a league that pays less and has less international exposure? This is where things get tricky for the WNBA. They might have to step up their game if they want to keep stars like Clark. We're talking better salaries, more marketing opportunities, and maybe even a bigger global presence. It's like Clark's move is forcing the league to evolve, whether they're ready or not. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Clark's European adventure is just beginning, and there's no guarantee she'll become an international superstar. But the potential is there, and it's huge. If she plays her cards right, Clark could change the game for women athletes everywhere. Alright, let's talk about what Clark's move means for women's basketball. This isn't just about one player anymore. It's about the whole game changing. Clark's decision is like holding up a mirror to the WNBA, showing them what needs fixing. Think about it. If top players keep choosing Europe over the WNBA, what's that mean for the league? It's not just about money. It's about opportunities, growth, and respect. The WNBA might need to step up their game if they want to keep stars like Clark around. But here's the real question. Is Clark's European adventure a wake-up call for the WNBA? Or the start of something totally new in women's basketball? Maybe we're seeing the beginning of a global women's basketball scene where players have more options than ever before. It's exciting, but it's also kind of scary for the WNBA. What do you think's gonna happen next?